You're listening to the Major Pod Network, the only place where your favorite toy store, bar, arcade, and arena are all on the same block. Scratch that major itch.
Welcome, everyone, to MC True Long Island Story, episode 11. I'm your host, always ready, Matt Cardona, the internet champion. But first, guys,
there we go. Lime.
Stronger Seltzer, PBR, Stronger Seltzer. Man, you can't find I was just in Nashville for a couple days. Can't find the PBR Stronger Seltzers.
Really?
No.
Yeah, I think the seltzer and the tea are like there's different locations for them. The tea doesn't exist in Massachusetts, so that's why I don't have any of that, even though I really like those. But I'm also here, Mark Sterling Esquire, producer of the show. I was going to bring up last week, a lot of people commented on your Macho Man voice.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's going to be better this week. Not better. It's a couple days of Impact.
Yeah, it's not 100%, but it's pretty close.
Well, let's talk about this right off the bat. Impact pay-per-view, you wrestle Brian Myers.
That son of a bitch.
A quasi character in MC True Long Island Story. Did you ever
he does make
think,
a couple appearances.
Right. Did you ever think that someday you would be wrestling Brian on a pay-per-view? I have to imagine you did. I imagine you imagined
I mean,
this.
a couple things I thought would happen a lot sooner. Like, I thought we would have won tag team titles at WrestleMania a lot sooner than we did.
Okay.
And definitely a singles match a lot sooner than it happened. But, hey, I'm grateful that both of those things happened. It was a lot of fun. Very Toyota gear.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You can hear more about that on the Major Wrestling for a podcast. We talk about what went into the gear. But it was a fun night, and we kicked the crap out of each other.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You guys were outside.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Who wrote most of the match? You or Brian? 50-50?
I think it was a good 50-50. So I had my idea of what I wanted.
Right.
And then I had it in my head, and he put his tweaks to it.
Right.
We both agreed, hey, we can't start with a collar and elbow tie up for this thing. Mm-hmm. No way. This is a fight.
Right.
And we didn't have as much time as we had hoped. So we're like, we got to get right into it.
Right.
But
it felt like two brothers finally just being pissed about the video game controller.
That's right.
Yeah. You're going at it. So
yeah,
good
it was
job.
cool. I won't watch it, but I don't like watching stuff back though.
Right. All right. So a couple follow-up things real quick. Clover G. I took a Ryder equals rating sign to a 2014 Raw. Lol. Ziggler pointed and nodded at it while I was eating nachos, so I gave him a cheesy thumbs up. So even in 2014, people were doing the Ryder equals rating sign that you put in episode 10. Now, here is the coolest follow-up ever. Okay?
Is it, last week guy?
Yes.
Okay.
We talked about the fan that seemingly we thought was told to take his sign down.
Right.
Well, Mike Johnson, and now I have no way of confirming this, but
it's Matt Johnson, by the way.
Matt Johnson, not Mike Johnson of the whatever, the news source. So he wrote on our YouTube, 18 minutes in, I was the fan with the elusive Zack Ryder equals rating sign. For context, I still am a huge Ryder mark. I just appreciated someone of similar age working hard to make a dream a reality. I took the sign to a UK show just as the Ryder Revolution was starting to make noises with his YouTube show. Obviously, last week we talked about it. Raw was in the UK, which you weren't there. Right. Held it clearly on screen for the opening of the show segments, and then a guy I didn't recognize in a WWE staff shirt with headphones on said I couldn't hold my sign up anymore. I assumed he meant all of them, as I had others, but when I asked, he said no, just the orange one, and pointed at his headset saying, if it's seen again, that Matt will be removed from the area. Hence why the sign suddenly disappears, but other signs make TV for the rest of the show. Time has literally flown by since that day. 2 kids, career changes, but still a fan. So
all this brought back memories, and I realized I had DM'd him back in the day.
Okay.
And I follow him, Matt Johnson. I DM'd him on, let me get the exact date for you, on 4/18/11
Right.
at 11:41 p.m. Did security really take the sign away from you? He wrote, yeah, it wasn't a UK member of the staff either. It was American accent. And when I said, what about everyone else's sign? He said, no, just yours.
Wow.
So then also in his Twitter profile, still to this day, once held up a troublesome at Zack Ryder sign.
Wow. Look at that.
So now now it's funny, like all these years later, I'm like remembering like this stuff. Like, of course, I still follow this guy. This is the Zack Ryder sign guy. And like on upcoming tours to the UK, I'd always get him tickets and stuff like that.
Why? I don't understand. Like if I found out, if somebody goes, hey, Mark, I posted something in the Facebook group about, something about yours and Matt told me to take it down, I'd be like, what the F, Matt?
Right.
Like, why would they want that? Like,
I mean, here's the thing. I say this a lot recently is like, I blame myself because I never went and asked. You know, I didn't go up to Vince and be like, hey, why did you take my sign down? I didn't do any of that. So I don't want to speculate. I think we could all guess why, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah. Crazy. All right. But the cool thing is you were still like on the shows.
That's right, baby. All thanks to the fans.
Let me see your signs. That's really cool. All right. Let's talk about, do you have any follow-up before we do Broski of the Week?
That's all I got for follow-up. One thing. So we were talking about like Ice Z and Long Island Ice Z and everything like that.
Yeah.
Before I got released from WWE, when I was thinking about leaving WWE, my name was going to be Ice Z. I was going to see if I could trademark just like Ice Z, like Ice T, like the rapper.
Okay.
Because I wasn't comfortable with Matt Cardona and stuff like that.
Right.
So I was like, ooh, maybe I'll be Ice Z. And then even like when I did
get zone.
Yeah. Even when I did get released by WWE, for like a split second, I was like, am I going to be Ice Z? I'm like, nah, I'm doing Matt Cardona for the podcast. It's going to be too confusing if I'm Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona, then not Ice Z, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't even know if like trademark wise I could get away with that.
Right. Iced Z.
Yeah.
That's funny. Interesting. I can't believe it. Let's get an Ice Z shirt. But I wonder what that logo would have looked like.
I can tell you right now, I have it designed.
Are you serious?
Of course.
All right. Well,
always ready.
Send it to me and it's in the screen right now if you're watching.
Oh, I don't think it's on the screen yet. It's somewhere in the phone, so maybe next week.
Okay, next week. All right, Broski of the Week.
The Broski of the Week.
Broski of the Week, guys, all you got to do is find the pinned tweet, quote tweet it, use the hashtag Broski of the Week, and leave a review and screenshot your review, and you will be the Broski of the Week. You will get the Broski of the Week headband available on mattcardonamerch.com.
Oh, baby.
You will get the Matt Cardona Always Ready Internet Champ 8x10 available on mattcardonamerch.com.
And as you mentioned, that gear in that 8x10 is the Super 7 figure gear.
That's right.
Cool.
And the Broski of the Week sticker, not available anywhere but here. Broski of the Week at the E-Bow. I liked Zack Ryder, the one-legged tights, the major stuff, all cool. But this show based on creativity and passion create a lifelong fan. Experience Matt and Mark reliving the ups and downs. Zack being elite and more as he saves and lays the groundwork for wrestling on the interwebs. Woo woo woo. Let them show it. Take care and please share. Well, I appreciate that. Eddie Bowman, thanks for being Broski of the Week.
Oh, I know Eddie Bowman. Major Mark.
And then I you might have seen on social media that I said someone was the Broski of the Week, but I was just kidding. There's someone who created the account. Basically, they created an account saying, tell Matt Cardona to shut up. And it's a big picture of me with like an X through it. Yeah. And I thought it was creative enough, but I said you're the Broski of the Week. You're really not. Sorry, pal.
No, you're not getting anything.
No, you got nothing, bro.
But it was funny. And so every time you tweet, he writes, shut up, Matt?
No. It's just a troll.
Okay. It's pretty funny.
Troll.
I laughed. Okay, let's talk about your tweets. There's an interesting development here. Okay, Matt Cardona. First of all, hey, Zack Pack, vote for my broski. I am Jericho. Text the word vote to 3409, 1-800-VOTE-409 for Dancing with the Stars.
All right.
That's pretty funny. I can't believe that was that long ago, 2011. All right. Matt Cardona, join me in the WWE draft chat on WWE.com. Woo, you know it. So you were apparently in the chat. Okay, this is the great thing. Tweet. This week's WWE Superstars has 6,316 YouTube views. Next tweet. This week's NXT has 6,151 YouTube views. Next tweet. This week's Z True Long Island Story has 70,404 YouTube views. That is pretty telling.
Yeah.
Well, and guys, YouTube is, I mean, it sounds insane, but kind of in its, not is in infancy, but like maybe toddlership. YouTube's like a toddler at this point.
I wouldn't even say that, but I think WWE's usage of it was.
Yeah.
Like they weren't putting up new stuff there. They were just throwing like highlight reels and like clips of matches or maybe full episodes of a show, but not like new original content.
Yeah, for sure. So Z True Island Story doing better than WWE at the time.
Hell yeah.
And there's more to that story. Okay, here's an interesting one. Sold out of my t-shirts a few weeks ago. They ordered more, sold out again. That's a true story, a Z True Island Story. Here's what's interesting to me about that. Early on in the show, you are literally having to give people giveaways in order for them to buy your shirts.
Yeah.
Weeks and weeks and weeks it goes for you to get these shirts back. Then, by episode 11, they get the shirts in and then almost instantly sell out. That is insane.
It was working. The fans were responding, and I love them so much, and I'm forever grateful for that. They were doing whatever they possibly could. If I had one crappy t-shirt on WWE Shop, they were buying it.
Right.
And that's what I needed.
So what's going through your head when you're like, it's sold out again?
Oh, man. It's like basically doing the Barry Horowitz to myself, but knowing like this is working and knowing like, okay, I need the fans. I need the fans, and I need to succeed for the fans. I say it now too. I don't want to prove doubters wrong. I want to prove my fans right. And with this, I felt like I was gaining new fans every week, and I didn't want to let them down, but I wanted to. Instead of that, I was not afraid of letting them down. I really wanted to prove them right. Like, okay, there's a reason why you're supporting me. There's a reason why you're buying the shirt, making this sign, trying to be Broski of the Week, and I'm gonna make you proud.
Yeah, I agree. And then also, it's very rewarding to work hard on something, especially creative, and then be able to see the fruits of your labor.
Oh, that's the best part. Of course, there's nothing like it would take up all of my free time doing the show, but the hard work was paying off, so it was
That's
okay.
What makes it fun. Yeah, exactly. But then when things are going down and it's not as fun, what the heck are you doing? Oh,
God. That was horrible.
Right. A last tweet. I'm in the WWE draft on WWE.com to see if I'm getting drafted. I am not kidding. So you did not know if you were being drafted there in 2011. We're going to talk about the draft in a second. But first, let's hear a little word from our sponsors.
The Major Pod Network has a new tag team partner, Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Everybody needs some liquid courage to make their own weekly purchases. Scratch that figure itch and scratch that PBR itch.
Get your PBR beer, get your PBR hard coffee, and get your PBR stronger seltzer.
8%? If you're listening to this, you're already a major mark. Now it's time to become a major PBR mark.
Use the hashtag MajorPBR and post your pictures and videos of you major marking out.
Pabst Blue Ribbon and the Major Pod Network, the new tag team champions of the world.
Of the world!
But we're definitely not getting any new figures from Mattel.
Okay, 4:25:11, Zack Ryder defeats David Hart Smith in 10 minutes and 37 seconds on WWE Superstars 107. It was filmed at the Greensboro Coliseum in Greensboro, North Carolina. Aired on the 28th. Again, bro. Again, I don't get it. This is filmed at SmackDown.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I do know I love working Harry. He was awesome. Obviously, son of the British Bulldog.
Yeah.
could do anything.
Yeah.
And I love working them because we had like a clash of styles, but also like meshed well together. I don't know if it's this exact match or a different one. This is where I don't know if take a shot. One of my, I guess, moves in my move set, if you will, Barky, is if I'm in the corner and somebody charges, I put up like 2 double knees.
Yep.
And I first did it by accident with like David Hart Smith because like he was too close to me for me to put up like 2 boots. So I just put up my knees. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah, I know you definitely do that.
Yeah.
I watched the match. It was pretty good. 10 minutes on main event. That's cool. And
Superstars.
yeah, he's even better now.
Oh,
10 years later.
I mean, that was 10 years ago. Everyone gets better with age.
Right. And he looks better, and he's doing like the shoot stuff. He's great.
Yeah, there's no way. Like you sent me that link. I can't go back and watch old stuff.
You tried to look at it?
No, I just know I can't.
Oh, man.
Because like, a lot of people, they grew up, and by people I mean wrestlers, grew up and got better and honed their craft on the indies and like high school gyms, bingo halls, and no one would ever see these matches. I was doing it on TV. So like my growing pains are documented, whether it be Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-view, Superstars,
Yeah.
So I don't want to go back and watch that stuff. Like you wouldn't want to go back and watch some of your old school indie stuff.
No, and I used to. Actually, I kind of agree with you. I used to watch them, but I would watch them on the thing like, oh, what did I suck at?
Oh,
Should I
right,
stop
right.
doing what worked?
Oh, of course.
Now I can't even. Now I don't even want to watch. I used to be like literally at the edge of my seat waiting for the promoter to send the footage. I can't wait to watch. And now I'm just like, I can't even watch it. Okay. In the WWE, Raw is from Raleigh, North Carolina. It's the draft. Okay. Now, here's what I want to talk about. First of all, this is kind of a famous draft moment.
Okay.
Cena is drafted to SmackDown off of Raw, and then by the end of the show, Raw drafts Cena back. So it was completely pointless. It was just basically to do like an angle. So the draft picks go Cena, Mysterio, then it goes Randy Orton, Mark Henry, Sin Cara, Big Show. These guys are all Alberto Del Rio, and then John Cena again. Kurt Hawkins was drafted 20th. He comes to Raw.
Now that must have been like a .com draft.
Yes. Yeah. The ones that I read were the ones that were on TV.
Gotcha.
So then the rest were on whatever. You did not get drafted, so your name wasn't anywhere. You just stayed on Raw. Let's talk about, we mentioned it briefly last week, but I said we would talk about it this week. What's the deal with drafts? And people talk about it all the time, but you literally don't know. You have no idea.
Yeah, for someone like me, it's legitimate. I don't know if they're telling guys like Randy Orton where they're going. Mm-hmm. Certainly weren't telling me. Very few times did I get drafted where it actually meant something. The only time I got drafted where it actually meant something, in my opinion, was when Hawkins and Ryder broke up, and I got drafted to ECW and became the woo-woo guy. Okay. Every other time I moved for the sake of moving, nothing really happened.
Well, there was an important draft in 2018 when you got drafted to Raw, and then you started the podcast with Bryan.
Oh, well, I guess so, yeah.
That one had not a WWE thing, but indirectly.
That's true, yeah. I mean, it did lead to this. I mean, it led to this show, basically, essentially.
Right, exactly. So that's pretty big. All right, and then a SmackDown, Alberto Del Rio still up there on the top. Miz is doing some stuff. Yeah, whatever. So that's what's going on in wrestling. Cool draft. All right, episode 11 of MC True Long Island Story. Take a swig for the working man.
That's right, PBR, baby.
Do you think Stone Cold Steve Austin drinks seltzers?
A broken skull seltzer?
I like to think that if he was, it's probably these stronger ones. I bet.
Oh, hell yeah.
He likes a stronger seltzer. All right, first shot. You're back at home. You're wearing your a splatter paint jacket, which is
funny because all these years later, I was wearing splatter paint at Rebellion.
Yeah.
I'm a big splatter paint guy.
I love it. I think it's super cool.
Great. You know who doesn't like splatter paint?
Who?
Bill McKenna.
Really? Oh, well, It's hard to do on the gear.
Well, I don't know why I was wearing my gear here, but hey,
I thought
change things up.
I actually noted that I liked it way better than like when you're wearing a polo shirt, because this made you look more like a star, if that makes any
Right,
sense.
right. No, I agree.
Okay. You say, this is huge. You say you've had titles.
That's right.
You've been the number one contender to the title, which, when was that?
I said that?
You said, I was once the number one contender to the World Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, I've never told this story. So this is pre-Z Trolling Island story. I want to say it's in UK. Is it UK? Maybe it's not UK. Maybe it's, it's definitely somewhere where Ross taped, if that makes sense. Okay. Someone's got to get me the location. And I take on Sheamus for the world title.
Okay.
Okay. And the match is like ding, 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 bro kick.
Okay.
Okay. So coming to the ring, I'm cutting a promo, right?
You're a
Do
heel.
the match,
Yeah, yeah.
go back up to Gorilla. And Vince is kind of like hot. Like, why did you say what you said on the promo? And I'm like, it was in the script, you know? So since it was a taped Raw, what they did was they waited for every single fan in the arena to leave. And I re-put on like my extra jacket and I went out to the stage and like cut a promo pretending there were fans there and they edited it into the show.
What? What do you remember? What did he say you didn't like?
I have no idea. No idea.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
And it was strictly, you literally like basically read the script.
Yes. Yes.
There's no room for
right. I didn't
you,
improv
like-
or anything.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like on the real shot, like I'm walking and talking, but obviously we can't do that because you'll see that there's no people.
Yep.
So I have to like just stay on the stage. They made it work.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure.
it is what it is. It was
All
funny.
right, Raw, where Broski wrestles Sheamus
Yeah.
for the title. If you guys can find some more information, somebody.
But yeah, so this is a very important episode because this is
Yes.
where I debut the Internet Championship.
Now you say WWE's crowned you the Internet Champion.
Right, which is not true.
Okay.
And if you look at like the stuff WWE claims I can't use, like on my termination papers, it says WWE Internet Champion, which is fine because I'm just the Internet Champion. But so it wasn't even like a plan to turn into what it turned into. Like my brother legitimately had one of those figures toy company, like kid size replica Intercontinental titles.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, Intercontinental Internet. What if I like put some like decals on and just call it the Internet title? And that was all it was supposed to be.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, I'll take like the YouTube logo, the Twitter, the Facebook, and the Z Trolling on Story logo, put that on the side plates, and I'll hold it up. It'll be a little skit. But it took off where I was like, well, I'll just keep using it on the show.
Right. And what
I
do you mean
still
by
have
took off?
that.
People like started to make it and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. And I still have that version. It's in my garage. I'll get it out. I'll post it on Instagram.
Man, I
still
wonder
have
what
it.
that would go for auction at some point.
Right.
Now, did you have some idea like, oh, maybe someday like I'll wrestle somebody for it?
Bro, not for this skit.
Yeah.
And later on, and I'm sure we'll get to it, I think it's Australia. I come out and I wrestle Primo, and I'm wearing that title. Like the kids at Mike Rotunda, the agent, was not happy.
I knew there's footage in the show.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. that's
Absolutely.
phenomenal. Okay. Perfect.
But I thought it was so cool. And trust me, when we get to the big belt, I have a great, it's going to be a clickbaity story when we get to the big belt.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
All right, Broski of the week this week is just kind of like a Long Island bro who's he's like pumping iron or whatever. He made his own.
I love. He got
headband.
like everything in, so creative and like well done. He got in like the follow, subscribe. He said like there's no headband. The shirt sold out. He was dancing. I loved it. It was very. He was such a broski.
Yeah, you didn't say his name, but whatever. We'll just. I've kind of like when I'm tracking these, I kind of like write a little detail, and I just said like Long Island bro.
I don't ever say their names. I just play the video.
Really? Okay.
I'm pretty sure I just play the video every time.
All right, and then you show signs on Raw, so there's more signs this week.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Pretty cool. Now this is man. Stanford is the man.
Scott Stanford is the man.
I could not believe it. And look, busy week. You're coming back from. I was gonna say we should have him on this week because this is cool, but
Yeah.
busy week. You're coming back from Impact, all that stuff. We're late. So you say everyone in the mainstream media is talking about the Broski, and this guy is on actual television.
Scott Stanford on like NBC like Sports 4, you know?
Right. Saying, he call them the Bronx Broskis, first of all. And then he's calling a home run from Robinson Cano, and he says, woo, 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 you Cano it, which
so
popped
great.
me huge.
Stanford was awesome, and he didn't have to do that.
Right.
He didn't have to do that. But
people are watching that going, what?
He also knew if he did it, I'd put him on the show.
Right.
So he's smart.
Yeah. So that was great.
Yeah, I loved it.
Okay, you talk about your T-shirt selling out. Oh, you do a did you know segment. And
This
that's
is a
when you
new
talk
thing that I started. Steve Zickos would help me with these because WWE, I think maybe still does them. Like, did you know? Like, and they're always so ridiculous. Like, we beat the NBA on Tuesday night or something like, well, duh, you know?
Right.
Right? So, but mine was all factual. I didn't lie. I said that I had more views than SmackDown, Superstars, and NXT on YouTube and source, and it was all true. I didn't lie. Nothing was fabricated.
Right.
WWE wasn't using YouTube yet.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that was great. You talk about your T-shirt selling out, but then you mentioned this Daniel Bryan shirt, where it's a brand new Daniel Bryan shirt. Now, Daniel Bryan, 2011, he is not. Yes. You know,
He's not. As a matter of fact,
I'm amazed he had that shirt.
so the shirt is like it's like a basic shirt, and he's giving me the yes lock, which is not even called the yes lock then.
Bro, this shirt is so funny, and I want it so bad. If you have this shirt, I would love to have it.
I recall going to Ringside Fest that year, and me and him were the guests, and I felt bad because people were just like skipping him and just going to me, and like it would look like he had a line too, but it was just people for me.
Wow.
It's crazy how things change. But then he found like Daniel Bryan, one of the best wrestlers, bell to bell, 100%.
Yep.
But once he got the yes, oh man, it put him over the top.
And the beard and the crazy. And
Yeah, he needed it. Yeah, it was great.
So good. So good.
Yeah.
But that shirt is so funny that you're like, it's a Zack Ryder shirt because you're it's great. Now this segment is crazy. And your dad is just up for this kind of stuff. So you walk into your house.
So I go into my dad's house, and the Morrison music's playing, and then you see I replaced all the photos of my brothers and I with 8x10s of John Morrison.
Okay. I recently did this. I did that Impact thing.
Yeah.
Where I was Bryan's lawyer, and I built an office. It took me a long ass time to put these fake degrees in these things. It must have taken you a long time, man. You had to get those pictures printed out, take the frames down.
Yeah, it was what it was. It was worth it.
Yes.
So really what happens is I'm turning the corner, and how can I say this in a PC way?
Right.
It looks like my dad's watching John Morrison on the computer and masturbating.
Yes. Okay. That's
His arm is going up and down, up and down, up and down, but he spins and he's got the shake weight.
Right. So did you have a shake weight or you bought
Of course
a shake
not. I
weight?
bought for this skit.
Oh my God. Man, hey, useful. Shake weights could come in handy. Who knows, right?
I thought it was a great skit. I thought it got a legit LOL for me even to this day.
Oh my God. So you're telling your dad this. Hey, Dad, on TV, 100,000 people are going to see you.
I don't think I explained what it was supposed to mean. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Dad, you're just working out with the shake weight.
Right. I don't think I explained like the innuendo behind it.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. But he was always down for whatever.
Pretty great. Okay, and then Big O, there's a Big O segment.
Big O.
And he's jacked, and you're like, I'm jacked. You're like, I'm jacked, but I'm not jacked like you. And Big O finally says for the first time, more weights equals more dates, which is kind of his catchphrase, right?
That's right.
And so you guys do a little montage where he's throwing up some weight, and then you're going to throw up the weight, and you're struggling, and he gets the phone call, and then you can't do it, and then it zooms out, and you've got nothing on the bar, which is funny, but obviously you can at this time,
I can do more than a 45-pound bar.
350 pounds. So,
but yeah, it was all like the self-deprecating humor, and I have no problem poking fun of myself. I think eventually it kind of bit me in the ass with WWE because they thought I was such a joke. But it is at this point, I didn't care. At this point, I was doing whatever I could to get noticed.
Okay, so
that
that's
was a funny skit, and it was a way to incorporate the Big O.
Wrestling psychology-wise, fine, you're a heel.
Yeah, right. At this point, I'm still a heel.
Technically.
Yes, technically.
So you can get egg on your face anytime you want. Because it
Absolutely.
doesn't matter. You don't have to be good. You can cheat to win. So whatever.
Right.
Is there any, when you start turning babyface, do you think like maybe I shouldn't be doing these lame things? Like not getting rid of the show, but also just like maybe you should
I wasn't thinking that in the time. Maybe in retrospect, that's like a hindsight's 2020 thing.
Right. Interesting.
But I didn't want to turn on what was working.
Also true.
Yeah.
You were an underdog. That's
Right.
what made you appealing.
Right.
Something I thought about today. There's always there's a WWE champion, right? There's a wrestling champion. But there's also always, at any given time, kind of the internet champion, if you will. The IWC, the Internet Wrestling Community Champion.
Right.
And it's different. There was we just talked about Daniel Bryan. He was definitely the IWC champion for many years. There was a time where Rusev was the internet champion. Yeah. Rusev Day, right? At this point, you are probably now the actual IWC champion.
Oh yeah.
And the thing by the way, the episode's over. You close it out. But the thing is it's just they never really go for those guys who are the internet champion, and that logic doesn't really compute in my mind.
Now, again, I don't want to say it's because it wasn't their idea. I don't want to say that. I think that's a cop-out answer.
Yep.
And we'll get into it during the quote-unquote burial time next year, where I blame myself for not knocking on Vince's door and asking what was going on. Mm-hmm. But this time, I felt what I was doing was working, and if I wasn't on TV one week, it was just that was ammo for me. Mm-hmm. It was great because I knew that the fans were behind me, and it was almost at this point, the more they didn't use me, it was the hungrier the fans were getting.
That is, and without the show, it's worse. Out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
Now that you have this show, either way, they use you, great. If they don't, great.
Right. Right.
So you've created a hell of a situation.
So if they put me on TV, that's great material for the show. I can make it seem like it's a WrestleMania main event. And if they don't use me, great. I can think of more skits to get sympathy.
Yeah.
Or simpy, as Scott Steiner would say.
Perfect. Great job. All right. Awesome. All right. Before we finish off the show, let's hear a little word from our sponsors. Okay, no,
Are you serious, bro?
How about Are You Serious, Bro?
Yes.
Want to do that?
The Are You Serious, Bro tweet of the week. Just tweet me something using the hashtag Are You Serious, Bro? If I think it's funny, I will send you an 8x10. This one I thought was funny. It comes from, find it, at Noah Likes Lego, at the Matt
Me too,
Cardona.
Noah.
After that radio silence on the ramp, Impact Rebellion. Are you serious, bro? Yeah, and it's a picture of me with the person's, that's not, who is that? A SpongeBob character?
Hey, I guess.
With their butt removed? Yeah, it did hurt my butt and my hip a little bit. Kids, do not try this at home. Do not try doing the radio silence or Rough Rider on a steel ramp.
You got up there, man.
Yeah. It was pay-per-view, had to go all out, baby.
Okay, Know Your Bro. What's that seg?
Know Your Bro. It's really that simple. You want to know about me? You want to know your bro?
Yep.
Use the hashtag Know Your Bro. Ask a question about the episode. So for next week, ask about episode 12. And if we read your question on air, I will send you an 8x10. And I don't look at these questions. I let Mark stump me so it can be as raw as possible.
What color underwear are you wearing?
I am not wearing any.
Michael. Okay, weird. Michael Burgett at Michael Burgett. Episode 11 saw the debut of the original Internet Championship belt. How long was it after this episode before you ran into fans who made their own versions of the belt? Hashtag Know Your Bro.
I think it was pretty soon thereafter because people would just take
Easy to make it.
It's easy to make it. People would take either their IC titles or the Jax and Rattel IC titles, and it was really easy to make. So whether I was seeing them in person or they were sending me pictures, it was really, really easy to make. And it was fun. It was cool. But then I'm like, hey, I want to be taken a little more seriously. I want this. And I this is gonna sound ridiculous. I really felt like the Internet Championship had some meaning. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I can't have it on this kid's belt with like printouts on. I need the real deal. And that's when I found Wildcat belts and made the belt that we all know and love. And I still have it hanging on my office wall. I'm looking at it right now.
Still the internet champion to this day.
That's right.
Not the WWE one.
That's right. No, Solo, baby.
All right, characters debuted the internet title. I'm counting that.
It's a big one.
This episode clocks in 286,715 views right now. 5 minutes and 22 seconds. Not your longest, but middle of the road, not your shortest. So that's really it for episode 11 here. Anything left on your notes list?
That's all I got in the notes. It's like, it's an important episode. Like maybe on paper not much happened, but I debuted the internet title, which is something that I think
It's on a figure.
Yeah, I'm synonymous with it. And I love that title because it was like, the homemade looking belt and stuff like that. And I don't regret changing it. I think it needed to be changed to something real, but for that time, for something that was just starting off as a skit, I didn't even think I was going to use it the next week. Honestly, I was probably like too lazy to bring it back to my parents' house with my brother. I was like, maybe I'll just use it this week again. And then I just kept using it. It was never like this big plan that I'm going to be the internet champion and then I'll make a real belt. Like that wasn't the plan.
Right.
It just, kind of snowballed thanks to the fans.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
All right. Check out my shirt this week. You like this Ric Flair shirt?
Woo!
I don't even know where I got it. I think Bryan gave this to me. I think he just had it. I have no
Ric Flair, it was WrestleMania 28, I believe, in Miami. I was walking down the streets of Miami, and he, like, slowly pulled up in his car and, like, rolled down the window and said, "You're the kid who stole my gimmick."
What?
Well, I guess the woo-woo-woo is too similar to the woo.
Okay. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
Yeah. No hair, no
right.
flair.
ProWrestlingTees.com/MajorWF Pod. A lot of cool shirts there for this show. ProWrestlingTees.com/Matt Cardona. ProWrestlingTees.com/Mark Sterling. Smart Mark Sterling. That's where you can find all of our shirts. The only thing we really have to plug is tomorrow. If you're listening to this as the day it releases, tomorrow a big ticket sales for the live show. Tell them about that.
Yeah, live Major Wrestling Fever Podcast 8, June 11th, Jimmy's Famous Seafood. Get your tickets at MajorWFPod.com at noon, 11:30 a.m. for Patreon Major Marks. It's going to be a great show. There are only 120 tickets available. If you've never been to Jimmy's, they have some incredible crab cakes, incredible food, and it's just a great, great time. And we're going to have surprise guests. We're going to have giveaways. We're going to have gifts for everybody. And I'm hoping that the show sells out by the weekend. Right. So make sure you get your tickets tomorrow, MajorWFPod.com.
I would be surprised if they didn't. I think they will. This is going to be a good one. The world's opening back up. A lot of people are getting vaccinated, things like that. People are feeling more safe. Now's the time to go out there. So,
hell yeah.
Excited for that. All right, take us away.
All right, guys. Well, if there's anyone out there who has a Facebook connection, I'm still looking to sync those Facebook pages together. So like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, buy all the merch on MattCardonaMerch.com, and take care. Sip some PBR Stronger Seltzer.
Baby.
And spike your hair.
Just take care.